All right, this week on the final reel, I'm going to talk about the status of the TV show, whose origins, inspired me to do this show, and that's called At the Movies. Of course, we all know the show was started by Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert back in 1975. At least that's where the origins begin. And it was the two people that had the biggest influence on me as a film critic. Also did Richard Roeper, who replaced Gene Siskel, who died in 1999. Roeper took over the show in 2000, and it was retitled Ebert and Roeper. The show is famous for a spontaneous discussion of films, where there are violent disagreements between Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert, and the funny and witty disagreements between Roger Ebert and Richard Roeper made it to be all the more entertaining. We also enjoyed it for the analysis of film and how film should be taken seriously. Also, we liked it when they bashed out terrible film. It was quite funny at times. Siskel and Ebert had their dry wit, while Ebert and Roeper was a little more lighter. Either way, whether it was Ebert and Roeper or Siskel and Ebert, the show was great. Sadly, in 2006, a surgery treating cancer rendered Roger Ebert unable to speak. Roger Ebert, one of the reasons why I wanted to become a writer, was still doing what he loved, however, and that's writing and criticizing films. Even though he wasn't on TV, Richard Roeper brought in a numerous plethora of guest critics who all did pretty well, especially that of Michael Phillips, A.O. Scott, and Christy Lemire. In 2008, due to many problems with Disney, the show undertook a new format, replacing Richard Roeper and his guest critics with two guys, Ben Lyons, who already had a bad reputation due to his calling I Am Legend one of the greatest films ever made and not even making his top 10 list of 2007, and Ben Mankiewicz, who did know his stuff, as he was the son of the screenwriter who wrote Citizen Kane and was also a figurehead at Turner Classic Movies. Many fans balked at this change, thinking that the At the Movies format just now took on a show that was on the E! Network, which is where Ben Lyons became famous. To me, there was just nothing there. It all seemed scripted. The disagreements didn't seem like much of anything, and that's what a film criticism show should be. Ben Lyons seemed to be more like a quote whore, as he's been referred to in the LA Times, just trying to get his name on a movie poster. There was even a website called StopBenLyons.com. What does that tell you? Ben Lyons was deemed the most hated critic in North America by the LA Times. But thankfully, the people at Disney made a big mistake and now realized it. They replaced Ben Lyons and Ben Mankiewicz, only lasting a year, with Michael Phillips and A.O. Scott, two people who sat in for Roger Ebert on many occasions. I'm thrilled that film criticism is going back the way it should be. Now, I know I maybe want to talk because it's just me staring at a camera on my show, but if I had a co-host, that's how I'd want my show to be. The show that Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert helped create back in 1975 and carried on until 1999. The show that Roger Ebert and Richard Roeper had in 2000 and carried on until 2006, and Roeper continued to do so until its final episode in 2008. But what does this tell us? Disney threw away 33 years of a legacy in order to have a new format, hip, bold, as they were trying to promote it, to only last a year and to only go back to what made the show famous in the first place. All I can say is congratulations to both Michael Phillips and A.O. Scott. I look forward to the job that they will do on this show, as I have great respect for both of them as film critics and have enjoyed them both on numerous occasions when they replaced Roger Ebert. Now that's it for this week's edition of Bill Chase in the Movies, however. And next week I'll be back with more reviews as the summer continues to wind down. Such films as Inglourious Basterds, a highly anticipated film directed by Quentin Tarantino and starring Brad Pitt. Also Postgrad, starring Alexis Bledel of Gilmore Girls fame. A new kids film entitled Shorts. Adam, a new indie film. Spread, starring Ashton Kutcher. And World's Greatest Dad, starring Robin Williams. It's a big star-studded lineup next week. But that's it for this week's edition of Bill Chase in the Movies. And until then, I will be at the movies. Goodbye, everybody.